This is Jeopardy! Here are today's contestants. Player 1.
Yeah!
Player 2. Player 3. And now, here is the host of Jeopardy, Alex Trebek.
Thank you, Johnny Gilbert, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. You all look eager to get underway, so let's get right into it. And we start the Jeopardy round categories with this one: ice cream, controversial TV, it's all good, intravenous, playwrights, and Thomas Paine said. Player 1, make a selection, please, as we continue. Cohen and Greenfield are the last names of the co-founders of this company that created Cherry Garcia ice cream. Let's hear it, Player 1. Use the Wii remote or press the corresponding direction on the Yep. We return to you, Player 1. Though it started with just 31 flavors, this chain now has more than 1,000, including SPF 31. It's Player 1. That's it. Choose again, Player 1. This treat gets its name because a certain fruit is cut lengthwise and then topped with ice cream, nuts, and whipped cream. Okay, Player 1. Hey, you're right. Player 1. This 3-flavored ice cream is named for an Italian city. Yes, Player 1. Yes. You get to pick again, Player 1. Many claim to have invented these. One man made them from waffles at the 1904 St. Louis World's Fair. Let's hear it, Player 1. Yes. You again, Player 1. This singer's hip gyrations on The Ed Sullivan Show in 1957 were not shown because they were deemed too sexual. Player 2. That's correct. Player 2. In a speech, this real-life VP blasted fictional Murphy Brown for her choice to have a child out of wedlock. It's Player 1. Good. Player 1. This animated show proved nothing is sacred with the episode Mr. Hanky the Christmas Pooh. Yes, Player 1.
Yeah!
Right. Please pick again, Player 1. She shocked many with her wardrobe malfunction in the 2004 Super Bowl halftime show. Okay, Player 2. Right. Player 2. It was alien telekinesis that caused TV's first interracial kiss on this show. It's Player 1. Yes. Player 1, back to you for our next selection. Also known as a cathode, it's the car battery terminal with a plus sign. Player 3? That's correct. Select again. It can mean far better than average or not yet settled like an unpaid debt. Okay, Player 1. That is correct. You again, Player 1. The bird Ardea herodias isn't just any blue heron, it's this blue heron. Yes, player 1.
Yeah!
Good. Please pick again, player 1. As an adjective, it means very impressive. As a noun, it's a lavish production. Let's hear it, player 3. Good for you. You get to pick again, player 3. Marvin Hagler was Marvelous Marvin. Tom Seaver was nicknamed Tom This. Yes, player 2. That is correct. Player 2, pick again. Venus's surface is hard to view from Earth because it's completely covered by these. It's player 1. That's right, way to go. We return to you, player 1. One of these on Venus lasts about 244 Earth ones. Okay, player 2. Good. Choose again, player 2. Like Mercury, Venus has this many moons. Let's hear it, player 2. You got it. Player 2, back. We're not sure if it was ancient or not, but the first U.S. flyby of Venus was by one of these space probes in 1962. Player 1? Right you are. Player 1, you. Galileo's finding that Venus goes through these, like the moon, was the first direct evidence for Copernican ideas. Let's hear it, player 3. Correct. We return to you, player 3. His father, James O'Neill, was a 19th century actor whose most famous role was the Count of Monte Cristo. Player 2. Correct. Please pick again, player 2. Public disgust over his play Ghosts caused this Norwegian to retaliate in his An Enemy of the People. Yes, player 3. Right. Choose again, player 3. This Pulitzer Prize-winning playwright was related to John Sevier, the first governor of the volunteer state. It's player 3. Right. You again, player 3. It's the Daily Double. Player 3, you're in last place, but here's an opportunity to catch up. Please select your wager, player 3. Here is your Daily Double clue. This Shakespeare contemporary is remembered for Dr. Faustus and for getting stabbed to death. All right, second place for you. Player 3, you pick again, please. A 1934 New York City taxi driver's strike led him to write Waiting for Lefty, the first of his plays to be produced. Okay, player 1. That is correct. Player 1, back to you. The crisis number 1 begins. These are the times that try men's these. Let's hear it, player 3. Yep. You get to pick again, player 3. The fate of Charles I hath only made these individuals more subtle, not more just. Yes, player 2. Right. Player 2. Pick again. No man was a warmer wisher for reconciliation than myself before the fatal 19th of this month, 1775. Okay, player 2. That is correct.
Yeah!
Player 2, back to you. In The Rights of Man in 1791, Paine wrote, "The cause of the rebellion in this country is that of the whole world." Player 2. Yes. Let's have a look at the $1,000 clue. This basic document is the property of a nation and not of those who exercise the government. It's player 2. You are correct. Player 2 is going first in the Double Jeopardy round, which starts after this. We start the Double Jeopardy categories with this one: Science Grab Bag, Death Sentences, the Short Form, U.S. Museums, Asian History, and not nominated for Best Picture. Player 2, you go first in this Double Jeopardy round. These cells from human embryos can grow into any type of tissue and may someday cure diabetes and Alzheimer's. Player 1? You got it. Select again. Jupiter, Saturn, and Uranus are called this type of planet after a Roman god. Let's hear it. Player 2. Hey, you're right. Player 2. A material called URHGE can be manipulated into being a resistance-free super this. Yes, player 2.
Yeah!
Yes. We return to you, player 2. Answer.
Yeah!
The first of the daily doubles. You're in second place, so what is your wager going to be? What are you going to wager? All right, here's your clue. We're not faking. Alphabetically, it's last among the elements on the periodic table. The lead is also yours. Select again. Here's Kelly. She'll show you.
The two main kinds of lens are diverging and this type, that bends rays of light inward so they meet at the focal point.
Okay, player 1. Correct. You get to pick again, player 1. She began a famous poem, "Because I could not stop for death, he kindly stopped for me." It's player 2. Good. Player 2. Joseph Stalin reportedly said, "A single death is a tragedy. A million deaths is a this. Player 1? Good for you. You again, Player 1. If I could drop dead right now, I'd be the happiest man alive is attributed to this movie mogul. Okay, Player 1. Yeah, good. Player 1, back. For what is it to die but to stand naked in the wind and to melt into the sun? He wrote in the prophet. Let's hear it, Player 1. That's it. Please pick again, Player 1. In his holy sonnets he wrote, Death, be not proud, though some have called thee mighty and dreadful. Yes, Player 3. Correct. Player 3, pick again. Frag, meaning to kill a fellow soldier, started as a short form of this term for a type of grenade. It's Player 2. Right you are. Choose again, Player 2. If your internist gives you a script, it's short for this. Yes, Player 1. Yes. You get to pick again, Player 1. Buck, as in dollar, is short for this item once used in trade and barter. Let's hear it, Player 1. Right. Choose again, Player 1. A cab you drink is short for this word. Player 2. Good. Please pick again, Player 2. Answer? The second daily double. You are in the lead right now. Decide on your wager, Player 2. Answer this. A cab you ride in is short for this word. You have maintained your lead. Way to go. We return to you, Player 2. You can get customized Gree-Gree bags at the historic Voodoo Museum on Dumaine Street in this city. It's Player 1. That's correct. Player 1, pick a... As this society has a long history, maps were the theme of a major 2007 exhibit at its museum, Explorers Hall. Okay, Player 3. That's correct. Player 3, you pick again. You can ham it up at a museum in this Virginia town. It houses a ham cured in 1902. Player 3. That's right. Way to go. Player 3, back to... The U.S. Space and Rocket Center in this Alabama city contains a vast collection of rockets and space memorabilia. Let's hear it, Player 1. Hey, you're right. You again, Player 1. An arm of the Simon Wiesenthal Center, the LA Museum of this, teaches about bigotry, racism, and the Holocaust. Okay, Player 3. Correct. Player 3, back to you. In the 1920s, the Kemalists opposed the Sultan in this country and eventually prevailed. It's player 1. Good. Select again. In December of 1946, he attacked the French at Tonkin, beginning a war that ended 8 years later. Yes, player 3. Right. You get to pick again, player 3. In 1739, the peacock throne built for Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan was stolen by these people. Let's hear it, player 3.
Yeah!
Good. You again, player 3. In 1782, when Chao Phraya Chakri became King Rama I, he moved his capital across the river to this city. It's player 1. Good for you. Player 1, back to you and I'll hand it off to Kelly.
These nomadic horsemen who overran most of Asia in the Middle Ages lived in portable lattice tents known as yurts.
Player 1. You got it. Player 1, you pick again, please. Bogey and Hepburn floated across the screen in this 1951 film that pleased audiences and critics, but not the Academy. Okay, player 3. That's correct. Player 3, back to you. You couldn't drag a Best Picture nomination out of the Academy for this 1959 Billy Wilder film. Well, nobody's perfect. Yes, player 1. Right.
Yeah!
Choose again, player 1. The Academy must have been out to lunch not nominating this 1961 Audrey Hepburn-George Peppard film. Player 1? That's right. Way to go. Please pick again, player 1. In 1954, this Jimmy Stewart and Grace Kelly starer from Alfred Hitchcock didn't get a second glance. Okay, player 3. That's correct. And the last clue for $2,000. Driving Miss Daisy won for 1989, the year this Spike Lee film about urban racism was passed over. Yes, player 1. That is correct. You all move on to Final Jeopardy, which will continue after these messages. We've got the Final Jeopardy round here for you, and today it features this category: landmarks. So, what's your wager? Each direction on the plus control pad represents a different response. Press a direction to select an answer. Now it's time for the Final Jeopardy clue, and here it is. The quote, "with malice toward none," is on the wall of his Washington, D.C. memorial. What did you say? With that correct response, you will gain Did you come up with the correct response? And that correct response will add Let's see your response. How much do you add to your total with that correct response? Congratulations, player 2. You are our new champion. Thanks for playing. We'll see you next time.